Hi Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your Spirit Guide message reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow, and it makes me unbelievably happy, so thank you so much for doing so. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Scorpio. Spirit guide message for Scorpio, Scorpio. Spirit guide message for Scorpio, Scorpio. Spirit guide message for Scorpio, Scorpio. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading. Ooh, okay. Angels and spirit guides. So the left-hand side is our inner self, the middle, the heart, the emotional self, the right-hand side, the public arena, the public self, and at the bottom is our rooted self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Page of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We have the King of Pentacles, and we have the Six of Wands. So very, very nice. There's also a sense of our adult self looking at our child self and being able to give us support, but also the child self looking at the adult that we have become and still giving us that sense of wonderment and inspiration. Judgment and the Eight of Wands. The Ten of Swords and the Moon. The Moon is Pisces energy. February 19th to March 20th is the time frame. The Hermit and the Ace of Pentacles, which is a gift that we're absolutely taking. And the Hermit is Virgo energy, time frame August 23rd to September 22nd. Okay, so let's see what our chakra energy is for this time. Spirit guide message for Scorpio, Scorpio. Spirit guide message for Scorpio, Scorpio. Spirit guide message for Scorpio, Scorpio. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Our inner child, yeah, definitely our inner child is connecting with us at the root of this reading. This is the heart chakra. And so when the inner child comes up, this is a sense and a time for us to connect with that inner child. I like to do the visualization of just visualizing yourself kneeling down, opening up your arms, and letting the child that you once were run into your arms and be loved and connected, and telling that child, I always see you, I always hear you, and I know where you're coming from, because I've lived through all your pains, all your hurts, all your disappointments, and everything in between. I'm opening up my heart to the innocence of a child, to the love of a child, and to the desire of myself to be able to express and be and explore. Now, for the energy we are to be mindful of, what is the energy that Scorpio needs to be mindful of? What is the energy that Scorpio needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Strength, this is Leo energy. Time frame July 23rd to August 22nd. This is thinking that just by force, we can be able to get exactly where we want to be, that, meeting people who believe by force or by arrogance, they can have what they want, they can achieve what they want. And so here it's to be very mindful of that energy, because it'll be very easy to either fall into that energy or fall into resentment of people with that energy and feel like an outsider, feel like, there's always just one battle after another, and we can be caught up here instead of seeing the beautiful change that is coming forward for us. And so at our root, we have the Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. We have the Six of Wands, but we'll get there in just a moment. The Page of Pentacles is seeing the seeds that we're given, seeing the prosperity that we're given, the talents, the gifts, but also it can be the wealth, the way to invest things, the way to look at things, the way to look at ourselves. Because we might be, as adults, looking at things in a very staunch way, saying, oh, this is the only way I can be successful. This is the only way that I can have what I want. And what the Page of Pentacles is doing is telling us, no, look at things in a multifaceted, different way. Look at things as a child looks at things, where they start to discover different uses for certain things. They start to look at things completely differently. And they inspire and open up the eyes of people around them just by wonderment, just by, sheer craziness of being a child. And so here we connect with our inner child, and our inner child really connects with our adult self and says, there is more here than what you could imagine. There is more to come than what we know. So keep an open mind, keep learning, keep exploring. This is a time to learn everything, to look at everything, to be different, to be powerful, to be great in and of ourselves. And that leads us to the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is looking at the prosperity and seeing the interconnectedness, seeing how things come together, how one thing affects another, affects the other, and how we can move forward in the prosperity that we want. We're going to be seen during this time, even though in the public arena we kind of really don't want to, but people are going to see us as people who take the blessings that are offered to them, who move forward with this wealth, with this prosperity, with this tenacity that is shocking, that kind of takes them by surprise. And this is something that we need to celebrate within us. With the Six of Wands, this celebration, this coming together, this sense of there is more here than meets the eye. And so as we celebrate our tenacity, our insights, our ideas, we start to celebrate ourselves. And as we celebrate ourselves, we start to say, I can do more than what I had expected. I can move forward in a way that I hadn't imagined. And that starts to see our inner self coming out of a shell, but it's coming out of the coffin. So with judgment, with the person in the box, we start to see ourselves coming out of the box. Our angels are calling us to more. There is a sense of there's more here than meets the eye. There's a sense of there's power and there's prosperity and there's delight. And I don't have to settle. I don't have to be pulled down. And so there's going to be something where it's really saying here, answer the call. It can be actually getting a telephone call, but there's this need to answer the call that's within us, answer the desire that's pulling us forward, to be inspired, to push things forward, to look at things very differently. And then that starts to change everything. The Eight of Wands is saying, ready or not, here it comes. The Eight of Wands is pushing us forward to change, to insights, to ideas, to greater understanding of what we want, of what we desire, and where it is that we want to be. And so as we see this, we start to see ourselves more. We start to say, can I do this? And we're afraid of it. And we start to look at that fear and say, well, why? Why do I want to stay where I am? Like, where I am, is it comfortable? Am I completely happy? Or is there more that I could be going after? If I answer this call, can I rise in a way that I've always wanted? And the answer is yes. Not in the way that we've always imagined, but in a way that we want, in a way that we desire, in a way that starts to chip away at the fear that is around us, of the stagnation that is a part of us. And we start to see ourselves moving forward. And that leads us to a time of death and rebirth in our hearts. Now, with the Ten of Swords is the dying away of the old self and the rebirth of the new. The Ten of Swords is looking at the absolute devastation that has been handed to us over our lives every single year for a decade. Or it can be in 10 weeks if we've had just a really intense time, or 10 months. every single thing that has shut us down, that has made us not believe in ourselves, that has been overwhelming and devastating and heartbreaking and disappointing, every lesson that was learned through mortification and doubt and fear, it laid us flat. And so every doubt has come in. And we start to face it. We start to see this not as I've been stopped, but as I've been armed. And as we rise, as we hear the angels call, as we hear spirits call, as we embrace the change, we start to rise into ourselves, into what we desire. We take the swords out one by one, and we hold them. They become our weapons. Because in medieval times, you would never leave a person with 10 swords in them. Right? Even when Caesar was stabbed, how many times? 40-something times, I think, or something like that. They didn't leave the knives. They were too important. They were too valuable. So here we have a wealth in our back. A wealth that made people kings and queens and heroes of their time. Swords were only for nobility. If a peasant was seen using a sword, they would be killed or have their hands cut off. That was the way of the game. And so here, there is a sense of, I've been given a wealth that can make me into royalty, a wealth that can make me more powerful than I imagined. Okay, not over people, but just in my own life. And so I take these swords out. I rise and I remove them. And I am able to see life, yes, more cynically, more maybe with like a little bit of a dark sense of humor type of thing, but more openly and more honestly. And as I heal, I transform. And the moon brings us to that place of fear, brings us to the subconscious and conscious self coming together. It brings us to a place where we're looking at things with openness and honesty and tenacity. And it's like, can I do this? And the fear comes in, and it's, yes, I can do it. And as the fear comes in, it can rob us of that dream. It can say, well, you can, but you won't. And it can have our subconscious and our conscious self fighting, where we self-sabotage, we, doubt, we fear, we overwhelm. And what is important here is that we start to embrace confidence. A confident lobster becomes a bigger lobster. The serotonin levels are higher. They become more powerful within their food chain, within their themselves. And that's what happens with human beings too. We stand up taller. We have our shoulders back. We become more confident. We become more tenacious within ourselves, within what we desire, within where we want to be. And that starts to open up our eyes in a way that we hadn't seen before. That starts to open up us. We start to look at the fears that have kept us back for so long and say, why? Why am I so afraid? Why can't I charge forward? Why am I letting doubts and fears from when I was little come forward and try to just stop me now? Why am I letting voices from the past, even if they're not from that long ago, it could be from a breakup where we were with the person for years upon years, and now we're looking at ourselves and we hear their voice still come in, and we hear the fear of, no, I can't do it. No, it's overwhelming. And the moon is saying, face the fear and see the beauty of the moon. Because in the silence of the night, so many beautiful things can happen. There can be such profound connections. Let those connections come. Let ourselves be inspired. Let spirit guide us. Our hearts are being transformed, and it's scary and it's overwhelming. But in the public arena, we kind of step back, and we need to step back, Scorpio. And we need to say, these are the dreams that lead me forward. These are the dreams that inspire me, that guide me, that help me to understand. And this is the passion that divinity is giving me. The wealth, the prosperity, the thing that I value as much as money, that is starting to come into my life. So I move to the next level. I start to move to a new way of understanding, a new way of seeing myself, a new way of seeing what I want from the world and what I value. As we turn inward, we might find that the things that are important to us, the things that we start to dream about, the things that inspire us, are vastly different than what was important to us years ago or when we started out. What we want now is different than what we wanted before. That connection, that brilliance, that understanding, it starts to come. and we take it. And we take it and we build, it's almost like we build a mighty empire. And it doesn't have to be that we have, these big buildings and just absolutely lush bank accounts, though I do wish that for every single one of us, every single person listening. But it's almost as if we start to see what's truly important, what truly matters. And we start to move towards that. And as we start to move towards that, we start to move towards authenticity, a holistic sense of self, an empowerment of the individual. And we start to be guided by our dreams, by our desires. And yes, we need to pay the bills. That's intrinsically important. That really is. And it makes us feel safe and secure. But we can also start to have a hobby on the side. We can also, look at things in such a different way where the inspiration comes in, the empowerment comes in, and we build ourselves higher and higher, more and more. And it leads us to a change. It leads us to leaving the past behind in a very real way and being able to take the lessons that we've learned and be empowered by them. And also to call ourselves out when we fall too much into fear, into oversensitivity, into a sense of just hurt and pain and disappointment and anger and upset, and just feeling like it's all too much. It moves us to our subconscious chakra message, which is communication. This is the throat chakra. We're communicating on many different levels. We're taking everything in, and it can become overwhelming. We're not just seeing what the person has on the surface or what the person is saying. We're feeling it too. We're feeling all the frustrations that aren't ours, but that aren't aimed at us, but that come from that person's baggage. We're looking at everything. And this is a time to step back and say, I can only take what the conversation is. I can only take that energy. I can't take everything else. It's too much. But this is also having that open and powerful conversation with spirit, being able to connect, being able to see things, being able to embrace insights, ideas, understandings, passions, and being able to look at ourselves and talk to ourselves in a very different way. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Prince of Swords. Just wanting to charge forward, just wanting to say, screw it all, I don't want to plan, I've had enough of being hurt, I need things to change, and I'm just going to go hog wild. I'm just going to move forward. And being very drawn to people during this time who just go for it, who just say, you know what, I'm going where I want to go, I'm doing what I want to do, and we're going to think yes, but it's going to be no. Because responsibilities are important, and the way that we uphold those responsibilities are important. The way that we go after our dreams and our desires and ourselves. To just charge off like a bat out of hell, it doesn't work. But to be able to step back and say, this is what I want. This is what I'm focusing on. This is what I desire. And then to go after it. That makes us unstoppable. Our subconscious tarot message is the King of Swords. Knowing our mind, embracing transformation. On the back of his throne are butterflies and the moon. Embracing the transformation that happens at night when we are alone within ourselves. Looking at things, cutting through doubts and fears and negativity, being brutally honest with ourselves in a way that might make us uncomfortable, might be like, wow, why am I being so mean to me? But it's saying, this is what I need to do. This is who I need to be in order to embrace my dreams, in order to go after what I want. Why am I self-sabotaging? Why am I holding myself back? Why aren't I letting myself listen to what Spirit has to offer? Why don't I connect? This is a time where the connection is real and it's powerful and it's intense. Embrace it. Very powerful sacred masculine energy here. Embrace the sacred masculine. This is a time of being able to do, being able to act, but not being rash and brash and overwhelming within it. All right, Scorpio, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we connect and embrace with Spirit. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio.